Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Company of Gamers podcast. We are live. If I've not responded to your messages just yet, folks, I apologise. Just been getting everything up and running and sorted. Hope you're all doing good this evening. I'm excited. Tonight is going to be a fire show. Absolute fire show, guys. I'm really looking forward to this one. I hope you are too. We are streaming this in 1440p, so by all means upgrade the quality if you want to see slightly high fidelity gameplay. By all means, go for it. Hope you enjoy it. Everybody in the chat, good evening to you all. We've got, just shout out a few of you. We've got The Unknown, what's good, brother? The Toolman, it's great that you're here. 47, good evening, my dude. We have The Unknown. Oh, I've shouted you out already. But yeah, The Unknown. Hello again. And we've got Shaky Shako and Zubitech. Now, Zubitech is tonight's special guest, my dudes. You will all undoubtedly know who he is from Twitter. Absolute privilege to have him on the show. I believe this is his first ever podcast that he's going to be doing with at all. So shout out to him. Give him send him all the emojis in the world. Make him feel comfortable. We're so glad he's here. No doubt he's nervous, as I was when I started my first podcast. But welcome, Zuby, brother. It's great to have you here. How are you, man?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Willie. Thanks for the introduction. It's thank you for the invite as well. You kept asking me, so it's quite rude not to honor the request. So thanks again for the invite.
Well, I'm really glad you're here, my dude. Sorry about the resolution of the videos, guys. We've just fixed that. I've just fixed that right now for you guys. No, but I'm honoured that you're here, my dude. So tell us a bit about yourself, Zuby. So where are you from, and what is it that you do?
So I'm a my profession. I'm a network engineer.
Wow.
Just with Twitter, I just have Twitter. Have fun with it. I didn't expect to get so many followers, but just started off with something that to have fun. Video games are fun. Also, there's like a lot of misinformation, so sometimes I tweet about like the misinformation, but mainly it's just for fun. Met you on there, a lot of people, and yeah, that's how it started. Just run a Twitter page. That's it.
Well, I'm really honoured that out of all podcasts that you would have your first podcast on, it would be this one. So thank you very much for joining us, my brother. It's an honour and a privilege. Network engineer sounds pretty complex and pretty incredible. But this is why tonight's show is perfect to have you on, because we're going to be discussing a few of the intricacies of certain network services. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is by the hint. I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? But so no, it's awesome that you're here. Also on the panel tonight, we do have Leviathan Gamer on his way. He's not here right now, but he's going to try his best to make it. Hopefully he can do. Shout out to him. DZ too. DZ is hopefully on his way soon. He'll be here, no doubt. In fact, he's here right now in the chat. Get in.
Oh, I was about to diss DZ. I said like he would not be late if Fire Sprite would be here, but you know what? He's here anyway. So.
No, oh shit! No, I'm sure they'll be here. We hear you loud and clear, my brother. Tonight we have Akira, DZ, Wilhelmovski, the Faithful Three. We also have Leviathan on his way. OT cannot make it tonight, but just want to give a shout out to OT. Let's all send him love and spam emojis, guys, in the chat, because it is OT's birthday. And his missus made him an incredible card. It was a Ghost of Tsushima card, and it looked so authentic and real. It was unbelievable. So hope he's having a fabulous birthday. Shout out to you, OT. hope you have a fantastic birthday, my guy. Well deserved. Hope you're having the best day ever. And yeah,
To greet the man
absolutely.
on Twitter.
Yeah. Send him your love on Twitter, and shout out to him.
Did he send a picture of that, the Ghost of Tsushima card?
Yeah, he sent a video of it. He was like, he sounded like he was choking up. It was just beautiful to watch. But no, shout out to him, and really happy for him that he's having a great birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, we all love you, OT, and we'll look forward to hearing all about it next week. So, Mr. DZ. Sorry, Akira, go on.
No, I'm just gonna post his banner. I'm gonna greet him happy birthday on my account, basically.
Awesome. That's a good idea. I should do the same.
This legend.
Absolutely. No, that would be awesome. In fact, no, you know what? That's a great idea. Let me do that as well.
Yeah, happy birthday to this legend. Fuck yeah.
Whoa, I'm
such a legend.
Getting confused there. Which
gaming wisdom.
Here we go. Let's do this. Mr. D, where is OT? Let's send him.
He's very nice.
From company.
I didn't even notice he had an Xbox controller on his banner. Such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a legend. Isn't he?
I'm sorry, it's fun to make fun of them recently. Like so much stupidity that I've been reading. Like, dude, like, jeez. Can just play games, right? Yeah, just play games. Nah.
Oh, you know what? I'll just share yours, Akira. It's taking.
No, it's all good, bro. Again, I'm making fun of these these people because like the Jade Raymond hate. Fucking hell.
We'll discuss all of that. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But no, that would be.
Oh, you don't know? All right.
Yeah, that
I'll
would be
let
awesome
you know.
to hear.
I'll let you know.
But as for sorry guys, I'm getting my.
Jade Raymond. Well, we'll discuss this, I guess, because this is news to me.
Yeah, no, we should.
I didn't know
you didn't know?
Was receiving.
That's crazy. I was there, man. Like,
crazy.
I couldn't believe my eyes, but it's happening. Dude, even this Ubisoft developer was hating on her. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Ubisoft developer.
Remember that Alex dude? He's a Ubisoft developer, level designer. He was on my post when I was calling out people hating on Jade Raymond, and he was kind of like, you know what, she deserves it because she has not finished a project in the last 4 projects that she started. It's kind of proof that she's not good for anything right now. And I'm like, well, what the fuck am I reading? This is some bullshit, bro. I'm like, I respect developers, but this is pushing it. Like, this is really pushing it.
Shout out to people in the chat. My brother Chris Righteous. I'm so glad you're here, my dude. What's good? Nib95. We'll be having him on the podcast.
See, Chris Righteous saw it. Chris Righteous saw it because I fucking shared that. Like, like I said, I respect developers, but this is some bullshit. I'm sorry, but like just because her recent projects were not done because it's just unfortunate happenings, and she didn't quit. She's not a quitter, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people quit after that. She's a fighter.
Mr.
Should be appreciated.
Mr. OT's getting a lot of love in the chat right now, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, bro.
He fucking should.
Yeah, no, he fucking should. Absolute facts, DZ. I'm going to turn your volume up a bit, DZ, because you're a little bit quiet, so I've just done that for you. So let's get into the panel intros. We've introduced Zubitech. You've probably have heard of him as well, DZ. He's a pretty well-known guy among the Twitter community because he keeps things very objective, and he's very discreet, but he posts summaries, really well articulated summaries and of interviews, tech, and any kind of milestones and technological updates and breakthroughs, or even service updates of everything PlayStation related, and sometimes even Xbox related. But it's great to have him on. He's a bit nervous today, but it's his first ever podcast, and I think we can all understand how that feels when it's your first podcast. It's pretty nerve-wracking. But DZ, my brother, how are you, my dude?
I am good. I'm good. There's a whole lot of stuff happening on my end, and I had to take some time off from work so I could get it done. Because there's some stuff. I don't want to get too much into personal details, but my time in the UK is nearing an end. It's nearing a small end, and I have to renew some things so I could stay here. So I needed to take some time off to get that done.
I really hope you managed to get it done, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, good.
Definitely. I took some time off from work to get that done, and during the midst of all that, there's also some other things that I'm looking to further my career in, and I needed some time to think about those moves. So I'm doing stuff right now that I hope will pay off, so that I could be in a much better position to be a world-class game developer right now.
I won't pry, nor will I drop any hints as to what I think you're talking about. But what I will say, brother, is wherever you go in to further the career that you're currently in when it comes to game development, you're a blessing. Whoever snatches you up, brother, honestly, dude, like it's a win for them. So I am absolutely stoked for you. I really hope you just fly high, my guy.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro.
Sky's the limit for you, brother.
Yeah. And in the midst of all that too, I am wholeheartedly enjoying Metroid Dread right now. Honestly, I cannot put that game down. Most people know me. I'm a very big fan of the Metroid saga, the Metroid series, and I tend to like games that borrow from that. I tend to like games that borrow from that exploratory nature of the Metroid franchise, and so that's why I'm a big fan of Returnal. That's why I like Control. Those kind of things those kind of games that power you up, so you could backtrack and explore, and your options become more available to the world and whatnot. So Metroid Dread is the truth, and as a Metroid fan, I think anybody who isn't playing this game is doing a massive disservice. The game is addictive. I can't put it down.
Is it living up to its legacy in terms of it doesn't just there's nothing more embarrassing for the founder of something to not do it as well as iterations and copies. For example, look at what's that game? For some reason, I've forgotten the name of it. That pixel art kind of style Metroidvania game.
You mean Dead Cells?
Dead Cells, yeah. Perfect, Will. Thank you, bro. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Does it do Metroidvania as well as Dead Cells?
No, Dead Cells is roguelike.
Is it right? I'm an idiot.
Yeah, Dead Cells is very much roguelike. You're thinking more of Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight, that's the one.
Yeah, so Hollow Knight is fantastic in and of itself. But in terms of what a Metroid game is supposed to feel like, well, I would say Hollow Knight was one of the best until this came back out.
Shit. And so it is really that good.
The reason I say that is because it does some things really, really well in terms of its pacing. And Metroid Dread adds a significant amount of tension that I think games like these need. And then, of course, there's just this sense of polish and cinematic flair. And people know me as a PlayStation guy. I enjoy the cinematic. I enjoy cinematic action games as well. And Mercury Steam, and Nintendo really, really upped their cinematic presentation with Metroid. And for me, Metroid is the key franchise and the reason why I own a Nintendo platform, simply because it's their most mature franchise in their arsenal, I think, coming from them. All the other games, all the other Zelda games and Mario games stray into a different aesthetic and a different demographic for what they are. But Samus world is very mature for me. Its storytelling is pretty sublime. You get plenty of you get plenty of understated narrative beats that you don't really get with a Legend of Zelda or a Mario game. There's a little bit of complexity to it too, and just the way they approach things with fear and stuff like that in Metroid games, and keeping you isolated, and feeling like the world can come for you and kill you, is something out of a page that I would say comes out more of like a Sony or a Microsoft type venture. So Metroid Dread inches the series closer to horror for a 2D side-scroller game with some really, really tense encounters. And I think any gamer should get this game, but Metroid fans who've been long waiting for a return to form, but a very smart evolution of that return to form, will be very fucking pleased with this game. So
this is a lovely.
Y'all need to get it. Y'all need to get it, and y'all need to get on it.
Holy shit! I've just realised something. Sorry, guys. Just looking back at this clip, this looks identical to that Call of Duty 4 map, Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare from 2008. What's that map with the? I don't know the name. You guys will know the name.
Crossfire?
Is it Crossfire?
Oh yeah, Crossfire.
Yeah. It looks identical. Just that street there going down. It's weird. Oh, that just weirded me out.
No,
sorry, guys.
It's true.
I was having a...
It's true. Sorry. No, I cannot believe Metroid is getting hate for $60 price tag. I'm sorry, but Metroid is fucking worth it. Motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry. Like, I also... To be honest, like if Lost Judgment is not here, I would also be playing Metroid Dread. I mean, I bought the game, but I just can't let go of Lost Judgment right now.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not playing it.
I've not got a Switch anymore. I sold it when I hit hard times a couple of years ago, but I'll get one again eventually. I'll probably wait for the Switch Pro to come out, and then I'll definitely cop that bad boy. But in the meanwhile, I'll just play Breath of the Wild on Cemu emulator, I reckon. But I bought it once. Don't judge me, So no, but I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, DZ bro. I'm glad you're enjoying it and having fun, and it's a return to form for the genre and for the franchise. It needed it. Mr. Wilhelmovski, my dude, how are you?
I'm currently doing just like Charlie Sheen. I win inside of every moment. Be like a rock star warlock from Mars. Currently been very euphoric with my new gaming PC. I've set up a few emulators. Today I've set up my Xbox 360 emulator because mainly for Ninja Gaiden 2, because I know Master Collection's out and I got that one, but the Master Collection only got the Sigma version of Ninja Gaiden 2, and the original Ninja Gaiden 2 is still only available for Xbox 360, which is why I got that emulator, because before playing Sigma, I want to see, how the actual Ninja Gaiden 2 looks, because there was very...
You've gone very quiet, my dude.
Very quiet?
Very quiet. Super quiet.
So far away from Mike, bro.
Like...
I got my PlayStation 4 Gold headset, and I thought that one would give me that huge advantage, because I thought to myself, yes, now I got an actual mic. But then I remembered the integrated mic of the PlayStation 4 Gold headset is absolute dog shit. It sounds like I live inside a can. And I also noticed when I'm looking into into the streams, after we done the episodes, that my voice sometimes gets quiet.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk too loud.
Maybe you can go into your audio settings of Discord, brother, into user settings, and just turn the input volume up a little bit.
That would take time.
I know. I swear, bro, you're so funny sometimes in the shit that you say. You're like you come across really sarcastic, and it has me cracking off all the time. What was it you said last week? I can't remember, but bro, it had me dying. It was just, honestly, keep.
You mean my dead horse joke?
Yeah, you dead horse. reviving it again and again, but it keeps reviving itself, so I'm gonna keep shooting it and beating a dead horse. But yeah, no, mate, I love it. You're like, if John Linneman and Herman Holst had a baby, you would be it with your whole emulators and shit. I think it's, mate, I love it. But like Charlie Sheen, you're a very unique character. That's all I'll say.
Thank you.
Mr. Akira, I'm so happy you're here, my brother. How are you, dude? You well?
No, yeah, I'm doing great. Again, all I've been doing is gaming. You know, like again, all these people are liars. Like, you know, like there's no games for the PlayStation 5. Like, get the fuck out of here. There's so many games. Like, I'm actually overwhelmed with how many games I have to play. Like, dude, I'm at the start of Chapter 4 of Lost Judgment. I already got 40 hours from that shit. Yeah. It's just so damn fun. All right, the game is way too fun. I think I'm gonna finish it with 100 hours.
I've seen your profile. All you have is just Lost Judgment.
Yeah.
Like, you're just loving it. I'm so happy for you, dude. Like,
and I'm almost done with Kina. Actually, I almost reached the final boss because I'm bouncing from here and there. And because I still have Miles Morales, Returnal, and Tales of Arise, and so many games to play after that. Demon's Souls. I got a huge backlog right now. And yeah, Metroid Dread. Jesus, man. There's way too many games in September. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, October and September. Like, I'm really struggling to catch up because it's not that I want to play them fast. It's just that I want to play them, but I don't want to rush what I'm playing as well. So I get overwhelmed easily by that because the desire is there, but I don't want to start all of these games all at once. And I'm gonna juggle all three of them. I don't want to do that. But yeah, DZ's right though. I got to start Metroid Dread a little bit. It's really great. It's worth $60. I'm gonna say it right now. These fucking fake games, but never mind. It's worth it. It's really great. And yes, it has some tension to it. I really love it. That it's true to Metroid, but at the same time, it's trying to do something new to refresh the game, or the franchise. But I think Metroid Dread is such a great step to direction. Is going to be one of the best games of the year. Although as everybody knows me, my personal game of the year will be Lost Judgment. And no matter which game releases this year, it's gonna be Lost Judgment for me. I'm just really that biased.
Yeah,
I'm just really that biased.
Real quick, two things. First, is my audio now better?
It's
like
much
louder?
Better. Yeah, much better. Okay. My dude.
Yeah, it's much better.
Secondly, I didn't knew it was OT's birthday today. That kind of information is nowadays kind of hard for me to obtain. Looking at you, Twitter. But I want to wish OT a very happy birthday. That man is riding on a completely different level, and I absolutely love that. OT, if you happen to hear this, I wish you a happy birthday, bro.
Oh, I know he'll hear it, bro, and I know he'll be stoked as fuck for that.
Yeah, bro.
It's beautiful, my dude. You're such a legend, Will. We love you, man. Honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
feelings mutual.
Yes, bro.
No, it's all good.
No,
so I mean.
It's great that you're loving Lost Judgment, my dude.
Absolutely. Again, it's been I always enjoy games. Let's just say that I always enjoy games. Mm-hmm. I enjoy a lot of games, but the feeling Lost Judgment gives me it's like a long lost feeling that I've been looking for in games recently. Mm-hmm. And Lost Judgment really got me hooked. It's that game that I cannot put down, and it has been a while that the game did that to me. So yeah, really happy about it. And yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. I can barely see my chat. Oh, that's why. Flipping. Here we go. I see you all now. Awesome. Even Neil Druckmann is playing Metroid Dread. Like, I bet he is. Pay attention to the master. Did you see that? Did you see that banter between him? Yeah, I saw it. Oh, bro. I love it. Bro, that was legendary. That made me laugh so much. I couldn't believe that was really Haley, right? That was really the picture that Neil Druckmann posted. That was really her, right? Yeah, in mocap. Yeah.
What did he post?
So Haley, is that Neil Druckmann's missus? Is that his...
No, it was Neil Druckmann's post that he's playing Metroid Dread, basically Then Haley kind of responded that, why you have your shoes on the furniture, you uncultured swine. And then the banner goes on, and then even Corey Barlog was there.
Yeah, bro, it's too much. It's just
hilarious.
too much. It's
hilarious. I love that. I love that PlayStation Studio. They really feel like a family, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whenever they talk on Twitter.
I'll show you guys now. Hold on. Let me
like,
go to.
For example, DZ and Wooly. Like if you see, for example, Insomniac and Herman Holst, how they talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a family. It's actually a joy to read what they say. And even Bluepoint and Asobi and basically PlayStation Studios, they really like a family whenever they interact with each other.
Yeah.
Even when it's not a lot, whenever they interact, it counts. Basically.
So here we are, DZ. I'm showing it on the video, so you'll see it in a second. But that's Oakman, Sunday Vibes. Haley goes, shoes on furniture, you uncultured swine. And he put, is this you? Picture of her, and then she goes, I see you came to play. Shows and mate, it's just
she edited that, right? She must have edited it.
It's savage. It's just, mate, honestly, I love that. I love it that they can use shit that's been made to actually try to insult them and just use
that's their strength. That's their strength, like this is the reason why they cannot fucking put these people down, because they fucking embrace whatever gets thrown at them, right?
Yeah.
As the reason why these people cannot go against them, because they just embrace all of it.
Yeah.
And you can't help but admire that.
No, facts. It's funny. So let's get on to the main topics of tonight, guys. We have a fire show prepared for you all. So the topics, we've got quite a few that we want to talk about, from Ubisoft to the console-idation war. See what I did there? Consolidation. I thought that was pretty clever. If I do say so myself. To Zubitech's speciality about the cloud, and are we moving into a cloud war scenario as well between PlayStation and Xbox, or do they differ in how they in their strategies? I'd say they do, but I look forward to us breaking it down, and also an exciting game reveal coming up in the near future. Apparently, can all guess what I hope it is and think it is. But yeah, no subtlety.
There's only
with me.
one Irish song.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's interesting is that song's actually Irish language. It's not just an Irish song. It's the Irish native language, which is awesome. Yeah, Gaelic. Yeah.
Did you know that Gaelic also has roots in Scotland, and Scottish Gaelic is different than Irish Gaelic.
Yeah. I did know about that, and then you got Celtic, which is Welsh, but they're all very similar in terms of the way that they sound, but they are completely different. They're beautiful languages. But yeah, looking forward to diving into that. So first things first, let's get Ubisoft out the way. Let's get the bottom of the barrel out the way. Sorry, Ubisoft. But now listen. I know that sounds really offensive, but at the same time, are we unnecessarily harsh on Ubisoft? Because, I mean, personally, I think there's a middle ground. I think Skill Up summed it up really well, and I hardly ever use Skill Up as a reference, but he said some pretty clever things on his review of Far Cry 6. He said he thinks that the idea that Ubisoft have no originality anymore and no variety anymore in what they put out is a little bit unfair, because let's face it, Rayman Raving Rabbids is one of the best tactical games ever made, he said. Then they've put out Steep and the spiritual successor, which is coming out soon. That's something Riders, can't remember the name of it. So there is certain variety to be had, but then they go and shoot themselves in the foot with this Tom Clancy's Frontline, and guys, I don't know what to say. What are your opinions on this? Like, did you see the Frontline trailer?
Yeah, I saw it.
I haven't.
You haven't?
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw
No.
You should already know how I feel about Ubisoft at this point. For me, it's just a woe because so I'm not even gonna even try to front. I've largely ignored the Assassin's Creed franchise after Unity. I think they've all gone into some really weird directions to make those games mainstays now and pillar franchises. And while I do agree that those games needed to evolve, I just don't know if they needed to become open world RPGs and be completely fluffed to the brim with bullshit. That's part of the reason why I've just kind of stepped away from those. And then, of course, there are other games from them that I think has lost their magic. I'd say like The Division. The first Division for me was pretty good. I invested a ton of hours in there. The content was great, but when they moved away and abandoned the when they abandoned the New York setting and went for
What's Washington DC?
DC, it just kind of took the fire out of it for me.
It does.
And then, of course,
I
just
agree.
some of the things that they did regardless with it. I've been dying for a Splinter Cell revival. Everybody is, and they've gone free to play with the IP name. It's just weird.
It is.
The moves that they're making with me just aren't resonating, and I didn't enjoy. What's the word? I didn't enjoy the I didn't enjoy Watch Dogs Legion. I don't know. It just
Watch Dogs Legion was a step back in every way. Jez calls it the NPC game because you're literally just. It's as hollow as playing just an NPC. Like each character feels hollow, and the same. Like that being a different character does nothing because they all do the same thing pretty much, with very little differences. And they even took out the blackout perk. It's not. It's the ambition. The ambition is so kind of declined and receded in the third iteration in every way, graphically, gameplay wise. Compared to the first game, it's a step back, and it's like, what are they thinking? You know?
I mean, that game already got massive. The first game already got massive downgrades in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
So, seeing this just where it's at now is like super annoying, and I want more for the franchise than the direction it's heading, and like it's just disappointing. So like Ubisoft is in this very tricky landscape for me where I hope they come back from it where they used to excite me with their announcements and whatnot, but these days I'm just like I'm like, nah, I'm just not really. I'm not a Ubisoft fan these days, and like Far Cry has become so meh to me.
Yeah. Far Cry 2 was ambitious, and
Yeah.
I love what they did with that game.
For me, finish your point, Wooly. Did you want to say
No,
anything else?
go
or-
for it, Will. I'd love to hear your thoughts, my dude.
To me, I never took anything skill up set serious, so much so that I even forgot what you have reiterated what he said. But yeah, maybe Ubisoft like does occasionally something different, like Phoenix Immortal Rises. That how that game was called. Phoenix Immortal Rises.
It's another
No,
Ubisoft game that follows
yeah.
the same Ubisoft formulas.
Yeah.
But visually it was like a little different, but essentially games like these are just a thin purple line in an otherwise bland gray concrete wall that is essentially Ubisoft now, because you can't compare Ubisoft nowadays to Ubisoft last generation and Ubisoft the generation before that, because it just depresses me so much seeing Ubisoft nowadays. Because back in the day, they really were outstanding. You know, when it comes to games, Splinter Cell, the old Far Cry games.
Guys, they were leading the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I played Far Cry 3, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. I still love that game to death. Now, you look at Far Cry 6, it's essentially Far Cry 5, which was Far Cry 4, which was an quite and lazily done copy of Far Cry 3. Like, Far Cry 6, like, I've had small amount of hope for Far Cry 6 when I saw the screenshots. Like, I thought to myself, come on, that looks kind of dope. I hope they make something fun this time around, something a little bit more than just Far Cry 3, just a little less fun. But I've always had in the back of my mind that it's going to be, you know, another generic Ubisoft title, which essentially it was, and it's just depresses me seeing that, because back in the day, Far Cry used to be this legendary series. Now it's just like it's just one of those wait for a sale kind of games, because there ain't no way I'm going to pay full price for something that's essentially a game released decades ago, just in a new code of paint.
Yeah.
And essentially, really, Watch Dogs, modern Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry are to me the same game. They're literally to me like the same game. Like maybe with like slightly less, you know, with a slightly different gameplay, but essentially you have like one big empty world with not much to do in it. You know, side quests are all just things you do because you feel like you have to waste some time, but it's not fun the time I waste. I just wasted, so I don't know why I wasted it. I don't know. I question all of my life choices after playing it. So
no, for real, like it might surprise you, but Akira had a developer at Ubisoft on. Is that right, Akira? Was he a developer at Ubisoft?
Yeah. He's a level designer at Ubisoft. He's actually the same guy who was hating on Jade Raymond. Yeah,
what a twat. I mean, like, for example, what was sorry to say this, but what was so backwards was he thought he was defending Ubisoft by explaining to Akira the reasons why they've regressed so much, like it was some kind of defense. It wasn't. He said the reasons why Ubisoft no longer are making Splinter Cell is because all the devs who loved Splinter Cell and worked on Splinter Cell have left. And Ubisoft is essentially, it has a very fast turnover rate in terms of its staff, because they finish a project and then all these staff leave and go to other projects. They're not like Insomniac, for example, who are able to continue to have a constant loop where before they finish their main project, they're already R&Ding, not R&Ding, they're already actually developing in its early stages, pre-alpha stages, another project, and whilst they're working on that pre-alpha project, they're R&Ding another project. Which is why within the space of 5 years, they can output 4 or even 5 games, which they have been known to do in the past. So, and Ubisoft aren't like that. So these small teams are constantly almost back to basics each time. And for these guys, this shit that you're seeing right here is ambitious for them. They're not realising that we've seen all this stuff before, and they think, but guys, you can drop watchtowers out of the sky. That's not freaking Tom Clancy. why have the Tom Clancy name on it? It's insulting. I'm sorry, right? But not only does that telegraph to everybody's location where your location is, it's more of a telegraph to enemy players than a help. But I mean, just drop a freaking Titan, why don't you? At least make it interesting. But Watchtower. But where's the immersion and realism? There's no. It's like you thought the other game that they're making is bad with that X Defiant. Well, you know, X Defiant plus this, all in the name of Tom Clancy. It feels so out of touch with what made Ubisoft so proud of the Tom Clancy name originally when they were making Splinter Cell and shit like that. You know, and honestly, guys, like when I look at it, I just think, I don't know. I've lost my train of thought. I'll let somebody else take the mic. I'm just
yeah. Willie, I agree with a lot with what Daisy said. It's just their direction. They've I'm not sure what's going on with the direction where the company's headed. All of their flagship titles
are live-based games now.
Yeah. A lot of the games are like their flagship titles are copy and paste. Even like the titles the fans want, they're not giving them. So it's kind of like a weird situation Ubisoft are in. Like Watch Dogs, I agree with the DZ as well. Like it was a poor game. The DLC was amazing. I thought Aiden in the DLC was really good, but it's just like overall. You don't know where the company's heading. You had those allegations. A lot of people left. A lot of people left from Ubisoft to go to Haven. It's just all over.
It is, yeah, and that's a great point. That Jade Raymond interview about Haven, it's so promising, man. Because you know we've already on multiple times on previous episodes spoken about how Sony have gone about acquiring studios, and we'll touch on it again tonight. But she not only vindicated that in its entirety about Sony being the best place for developers and supporting developers, but she went into how she brought 30 to 40 people who would basically, in so many words, follow her wherever she goes. They're like loyal to the end for Jade Raymond, because they follow her because she's a visionary, right? She's one of them very, very unique and sorely needed creative flares in the gaming industry that don't follow trends but try to push boundaries and do something
their
new.
Own trend. They make a new trend. That's one of the things that she's known for. Some of my favorite franchises that were birthed but then ruined by Ubisoft was Assassin's Creed and the first Watch Dogs. You know, she birthed those. So like, you know, she's and then of course, her favorite Assassin's Creed title is Unity, which is also mine as well.
Mine too.
Yeah. I mean, Unity launched with a host of goddamn problems, right? You know,
Yep.
That game was glitchy and stuff,
It's
but
incredible, bro.
the core content of that, the direction, the cinematic flair, the polish and animations that they had were fantastic. The parkour was excellent. The movement was fluid. The story was a good one as well. So like, I'm very saddened that we don't have a game that's like that even has those kind of that has that kind of polish anymore, so to speak, from Ubisoft, and it's a shame. You know, so like, I'm hyped for whatever Jade is gonna create, because the games that she's working on, you know, they're bound to be good, and she's created some much beloved franchises. So,
I'll never get over Blacklist. Splinter Cell Blacklist was incredible, and she had a direct hand in that.
Yeah.
No, facts. Facts, bro. Me too. Very excited.
Do you wanna read what that Ubisoft developer said?
What?
You wanna read it?
Yeah, go for it.
It's on my account.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'll find it.
It's right here. I'm gonna put it on our group chat. I'm gonna show you where he commented first, and you can read everything that he said. And I gotta say I fucking disagree with it, but you know,
Okay,
I didn't really reply anymore because I'm not in the mood to fucking get into it because I'm playing. All right.
I'll see it.
So.
Okay. All right. Let's get this bad boy up. Okay. I'll just checking everyone can see that. Yep. Here we go. So let's listen to what Jade Raymond said.
You mentioned this earlier. You've immediately partnered with PlayStation.
And then you can see the comment of that
team.
Ubisoft developer I was talking
I'm sure
about.
You had your pick of backers. So why Sony? What was it that made you go right?
Guy, his name's Alex.
Yeah, I see him.
Well, there are many reasons.
Chris Righteous is here. He's also fucking.
I think Sony really does.
He's not happy
the
about
best
that, dude.
reputation for
Chris
supporting
Righteous
the creative process
is not
and
happy
supporting
about that,
dev
dude.
teams.
Yeah.
I've done a
And
lot
yes,
of talking
she had
to
the hand
different
in Metal Gear Solid
developers
4.
about
That's true.
their
Shaky.
Hold on, my bro.
for
We're just
supporting the
sorry.
creative process and supporting dev teams.
Oh, I didn't know that she.
I've
I didn't
done
know
a
that
lot
she
of
played a
talking
role
to
in Metal
different
Gear Solid 4 as
developers
well.
about their experience.
She did, yeah.
Working with different publishers, and Sony does stand out as being a company that really understands the creative process and developing games and supports the dev teams and gives them the autonomy they need. So that was a big attractor. Also, just we're all sort of big fans since we're kids of Sony, so there's something really cool about getting to work on a first party PlayStation game that was really appealing to us. Like sort of for a lot of people a dream of something they wanted to do. So it was I guess just we're all super excited about the opportunity.
Yeah,
I love that, man.
You mentioned
that's
really excited about working with PlayStation. You mentioned the team. You mentioned a few names.
See it, the comment.
I love that. Sony are the ones that really understand the creative process. And here's a Ubisoft dev, go figure, because she left Ubisoft and took a whole load of talent with her. I don't want to be mean, but all of her statements will actually become worthwhile when she actually can ship a damn game. You know what, Alex? I won't even stoop. Because I can't make games at all. But I won't criticize your incompetence. But regardless, I think she's shipped some pretty damn fine quality games. And she's been let down by things out of her control, like Google and shit like that. But anyway, when she can ship a damn game... What? It's been like 3 or 4 different games now where nothing has come to fruition and the studios get closed anyway. You know what? If she had ended up as bitter as this fool, she wouldn't be in the position she's in right now.
I would, again, dude, I said before, I fucking respect developers, but sometimes some of them are really pushing it. Like,
yeah, 100%.
sometimes.
And I know that you don't like her, so this makes your statement really mean.
He told me that. He told me that on the Spaces that he does not really like her. The way she works. Basically, he doesn't like how she works. It's kind of like what he said.
Oh, you mean? Oh shit! He really is pushing it here, isn't he?
Yeah, something like he said something like this. If I can remember it, he said something like he's not a fan of how she works because she's kind of out of control with how he basically compared her to Kojima. Yeah, like they're both out of control when it comes to what they want to do, and sometimes it's too much or something like that. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. That's what he did. That's what he said.
Her CV's impressive though. Sims Online, Assassin's Creed, MGS4, AC2, AC Bloodlines, Blacklist, Watch Dogs, Unity, Far Cry 4, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Alex, Outbound has sent your company How about your company put out a game that isn't copy paste every single damn year, instead to committing felonies on a daily basis?
Oh wow.
Just saying, it's true.
Again, bro, you can see I didn't reply anymore after that because I was playing Lost Judgment. I said, I'm not gonna get into this. I'm not getting into this shit. I'm just not doing it. And of course, also he's a developer, so I really don't like to disrespect any developer because
No.
I fucking respect developers.
Well, hats
So,
off to you,
oh,
dude.
yeah.
You're a better man than me, because that shit's like next level disrespectful to Jade, ridiculous.
Chris Righteous is, he also said the same thing, like he called him a fraud. I'm like, yeah.
No way, she worked
I
on
can
MGS4.
understand.
I mean, there are accolades and then there are accolades. I mean, it's just crazy. And she took all that experience from MGS4 into Splinter Cell Blacklist, and that was just still to this day that holds up against MGS5 in terms of what's possible in terms of fluidity of movement, shit like that.
You know what would be like poetic justice, right? Is when Jade Raymond actually, manages to release this game and it becomes better than any Ubisoft game out there.
Yeah.
I just
like
wish
poetic justice.
I just wish that woman the very, very best on her way.
No,
I
she's.
just wish her the very, very
They're
best.
gonna be great. I'm sure of it. They're gonna be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just need to have some faith in Jade Raymond.
No, it's impossible not to have faith in that girl. She's so crazy talented, it's ridiculous. But I'm a sucker for Jade Raymond. Maybe I'm biased because I had a crush on her when I was little. I mean, I must have been.
Most people did.
Pardon?
I think most people did.
Yeah.
She was. Yeah.
She's still to this day something else. Still to this day, she's aged very gracefully. That's all I can say. But yeah, no, like a fine wine, my dude. So moving on. So we can all agree, right? Ubisoft have a lot to think about, and I think they're so out of touch with what gamers are looking for today. And Ubisoft, why call it a Tom Clancy game? I don't know. Same with X Defiant. It's just cash grabs at this point. But the reason for that is their turnaround. Their turnaround of staff is so crazy high because they're not proactively meshing and getting other games in the works and that those teams are pushing. That they're just taking on other people's IPs and trying to capitalize off established IPs that are not their own. And what devs want to do that forever? I'm sorry, but even Bluepoint are rumored to be making their own IP right now. You see my point? It's like you don't want to be doing that forever, creating and feeding off other people's work all the time. But yeah, that's that. We'll move on. Unless anybody else has anything else to say to that.
Nah, I got not a lot to say about X. That I can't even fucking call it Tom Clancy anymore.
No.
Just I have nothing to say. I don't. It's obviously directed at casuals, but I have nothing to say about it because I'm absolutely not interested in it. Whatever it is.
Facts.
Just putting that out there.
So let's talk about something that is pretty hot to a hot topic right now. So there is a job listing out where the major responsibilities that they're looking for in this role is to be able to identify and take full advantage of inorganic, and I quote, inorganic growth opportunities, both through acquisitions and business opportunities.
Is this the Sony topic that we're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry for what's the word? I'm having a brain fart, guys. I can't think of the word right now. For context purposes, that's the one. It's the Sony topic. So they put out on LinkedIn associate corporate development role, and it's an ambitious role. And here, let me find it for you guys. Where are you? I'll control F it. I can't. There we go. SIE seeks a highly candidate. Seeks a highly candidate. That makes no sense, but never mind. For the position of associate corporate development. SIE's corporate development team works closely with Sony Interactive Management Team and is responsible for identifying inorganic growth opportunities through acquisitions, investments, or joint ventures. The team sources, evaluates, and performs transactions that are aligned with SIE's strategic priorities and drive significant long-term value for the company. Now, why do you think we're bringing this up, fam? Because how have they always done business? Through organic growth opportunities and strategy. So, are they going to pull a Microsoft? Is this what this is saying? What do you guys think?
This is I had a long space about this, to be honest, because I was trying to explain to people that with Sony, it's not that simple to pull a Microsoft, and it's not even about money. It's just basically about how they how they do business. For example, right? And this is gonna be like my own terms. You know, when Bethesda got purchased, right? And you got like 40%, over 40% of PlayStation revenue cut off completely, because they're owned by Microsoft now, and Microsoft can take that hit because that's fuck you money right there. They can take that loss because they just have a lot of money, so they don't care about that revenue. They can replace that, something like that. PlayStation, however, has a different kind of philosophy. It's like this. For example, let's say PlayStation plans to acquire Capcom, for example. Because $24 billion, by the way, I'm just going to explain it to people and how big that money is in Japan. $24 billion, Sony, if they wanted to, can buy Square Enix, Capcom, Sega, Konami, Kadokawa, Kojima Productions. Like all 6 of them. And they can have them all, basically, with that money that they had on hand. However, it's not as simple as Sony because, for example, they want to acquire somebody like Capcom. And you see Capcom, they got this much percentage PlayStation revenue, and they got over 30% of Nintendo revenue. Now, Sony will never, for me right now, I can never see Sony saying like, we don't care about his revenue, we're going to cut this, or we're just going to replace it. No. What I would see Sony would do is they would try to make a deal where those two can coexist despite of them owning Capcom. That's what's going to happen because Sony does business to Japanese people, how the Japanese people does business, in which we don't like to, in Japan, we don't like humiliating anyone through business. For example, you get to acquire this or you get to buy that. It's kind of like humiliating who owned that property before. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like they'll make it look like for example, if they would try to buy Capcom, it's going to look like a merger, or they were going to it's more of a partnership together where there's 2 bosses or something, even though that's not really the case. That's why Sony would never go for in my opinion right now, Japanese wise, I don't think they ever go for a Microsoft route. It's because that's just not how they do business. They got a different philosophy, and that philosophy actually helped them to be a market leader. And the thing is, Sony may get aggressive. I don't really see them pulling a Microsoft. It's really because of the business philosophy that happens in Japan. That's kind of like what I'm coming from. I'm seeing right now. However, inorganic. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say how do you? Where's this 24 billion figure come from, my guy? So you mentioned Sony have 24 billion just to spend. Where's this information on this?
So this is
almost pocket money, for example.
No. So all right. So first of all, I mean, this is no knowledge, and Subi knows this because Subi does this. You know, he looks at the financial
Yeah.
reports and the revenues and all that.
Yeah.
It's known that Sony got so much profit, you know, over the years. That's a known fact, right? We're not even talking about 24 billion. We're talking about like bigger than that, to be honest. And the thing is, with all that profit, like Sony recently, again with the banks, was just revealed that they liquefied some of those assets and basically have them as, you know, cold hard cash on hand. You know, business wise, like on hand, that they have it on hand ready to spend to whatever they want to spend on business wise. Acquisitions is like one example, time exclusivity or investments to other company. For example, Sony has been investing in some companies. They've been investing in Kadokawa, which is the owner of From Software, because you know they're investing in Square. They're investing in Square Enix.
Yeah.
Again, they're investing in them again because they initially had stock in them back in basically Sony after Square got pissed off with Nintendo and the guy, I forget who it was, but it was the leader of Square at the time, really wanted to make Nintendo pay. He literally decided to take away all the Final Fantasy games and partnered with Sony. And it was only until the re-release of Crystal Chronicles, after numbers of years, I think the president of Nintendo actually had a sit down with the president of Square, and they hashed things out. And Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was the return of Square Enix games coming back to Nintendo platforms and whatnot. And but that was only after a while. And when Sony was in deep shit, when they were during the PlayStation 3 era, Square Enix sold their stock back to Sony, so it could help Sony out, because Sony actually helped them by buying stock from them when they were at a low point because of Nintendo. Sony's been back to investing in them now, but like many people don't know that those two companies, Sony had a 16% stock
it's higher now though. It's higher now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They got like, I think over 30% now with Square Enix. Sony.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And you see, I think that there is a difference between purchasing a publisher that's already established its IPs heavily, like their IPs are bought by all parties, by customers of Xbox, customers of PlayStation, customers on PC, like Take-Two, for example, or Bethesda, ZeniMax, and Square Enix, which is predominantly a Sony kind of focused platform, because let's face it, their games don't really sell on Xbox. Mind you, the Western games more so, but the Japanese games barely get a look in on Xbox.
That's true.
Nevertheless, I do hope that they don't resort to buying publishers, because I just generally don't view that as a very healthy thing for the gaming industry. I'd much rather that they focus their money on what they did say. They did say it in that job listing, that it would be I'm trying to find that job listing again, not just acquisitions but partnership strategies and joint ventures.
I really don't believe Sony would ever cross Nintendo like that, to be honest. Again, Japanese philosophy. I don't believe they will ever cross them like that, you know, just cutting revenue. And no, not even Nintendo. I don't believe they're going to do that to any company at all. Like if there is a 30% revenue from Nintendo and the other percent is from them, and let's just say barely anything Xbox and the rest is PC, then they're not going to cut off those revenue sources, because, you know, that's just not how Sony does it. They would either try to, you know, do a compromise where they can coexist, or they're not going to do it at all. And partnerships are more let's say believable the only issue sometimes now is that the acquisition war is real, and it's not only Microsoft, it's Sony.
Yeah.
You got Tencent and NetEase and all these companies like starting to get interested in and Japanese developers, and not only developers, and I think they're also starting to get interested in Japanese IPs, right? So I think the real problem will start when IPs like Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, gets targeted by these big companies, and that's when they need to take action. But right now, I don't think it's necessary.
The biggest issue is Sony can't just continue good business with these publishers and partnerships with a confidence anymore, because as successful as those partnerships are, all Microsoft has to do is what they've already done, and that's throw a big load of money in their face and see what happens. And that's the problem. There's no longer a security there, because that gentleman's code has kind of been broken since Sony bought
and also
since Microsoft bought Bethesda. Zubi, were you?
And also sorry about that.
Go on,
I wanted to add is that what I wanted to add there is that there is, for example, IPs like Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, like it gets lost. Sony loses it, for example. It's gonna be a big hit to both Sony and and the IP itself and Square Enix and something like that. However, again, as like you said, money talks a lot recently, so it's kind of nothing is for certain anymore. Especially when Herman Hulst actually, they kind of like listed down some Japanese IPs that they think is very important for Sony ecosystem or PlayStation ecosystem. They mentioned games like Final Fantasy, Street Fighter, Persona, and a lot of Metal Gear, and a lot more popular, Japanese franchises that basically made Sony to the big, let's say, the big gaming place that they become, back then until today. And I think Sony would never cross a publisher like that, like just acquire them and cut revenue sources. Partnerships are more, I think, if it ever is going to be needed for them, I think it's going to be IPs that they're going to go for.
No, I agree, my dude. That would be a clever strategy. Buy IPs and then still work with them to make the IPs that they've always made, but Sony now have the rights to. That's a cool strategy, which I think would keep relationships healthy. But who knows? The point is, guys, is that Sony have this huge wad of money, as Akira mentioned. Zubi, you had something to say, brother?
Yeah. So all of a sudden, like within the last 10 years, you got big players like Google, Facebook. They've come into this industry now as well. So it's not just Microsoft. Obviously it's Sony's direct competitor, but there's all these other players as well. So I think if it's like inorganic, such a broad term, like to Sony that might seem something else. To us it means like Square Enix. So it all depends what that means to Sony. Whether they go for a publisher like Square Enix, because that would be the most likely to acquire, because their relationship is so tight. But like I said, it might be like their last games on PlayStation. You might not see these games anymore. There might be the cloud, like Google Cloud. They might be on these other platforms, and you've lost those IPs, those franchises forever. So
look for what happened with Google buying, Facebook buying, Ready at Dawn. I mean, what an absolute L for the PlayStation community, because they were begging for an Order sequel, because that game is so criminally underrated. It's ridiculous. It got way more hate than it deserved, in my opinion. But I mean, although Sony still own the rights to that IP, will they make another one? I don't know. I could only hope so. But it kind of squashed my hopes and dreams, really, of an Order sequel. That's what acquisitions do, isn't it?
And not only that, Willie, you lost all that talent as well.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
that's the thing. You lose the IP in some cases if you buy the publisher, and then you lose the talent as well, because as you've seen, talent is so hard to find in especially the game industry. Like, devs are so skilled, and to find quality devs and culture, that's key in this industry. It's unlike any other industry, in my opinion.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Anybody want to add to that?
Talent is.
Sorry, DZ, go ahead.
I was gonna say talent is around everywhere. It could be seasoned talent or it could be fresh talent. There are some people who just have an innate knack for certain things, and
He's advertising himself here for a job. I know it. I'm joking.
No, that talent is going to be there, regardless if it's legendary talent like say a Hideo Kojima or a Miyazaki or a Yoichi Wada or somebody like Jade Raymond. There are people who are talented, and those talents will get discovered. The gaming industry is constantly shifting and changing, and there are new people coming into that gaming industry from from other portions of the industry that will bring something new to it. So to say that talent is disappearing within this industry is a little bit disingenuous, because you have people who study in game design and want to bring their own stuff to it. Relatively small teams, so like not many people knew about Pixel Opus, but those people were college students that Sony handpicked from the University of Cambridge and literally just brought them together. And said, okay.
Who was that, DZ? Sorry.
Pixel Opus.
Oh shit!
Pixel
Wow,
Opus.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So they've been, these people, these kind of talents are there. They're small and whatnot, but like to say, this industry is always in an ebb and flow of new things coming into it and things leaving. So like I wouldn't worry too much about the talent acquisition. I think with inorganic growth, what you're more looking at is off the wall acquisitions, buying of publishers, and figuring out ways to strengthen and rapidly increase your catalog without having to rapidly increasing your catalog. That's inorganic growth. That's massive. That's like massive additive force, because organic growth and stuff to your thing is hiring and growing your studios, but also adding to your studios partnerships, adding to your studios through partnership relationships that you've had well over the years. So Firesprite, so something like Firesprite or Insomniac or Blue Point or Housemarque, while their acquisitions, they're 100% organic ones, because those partnerships were long-term commitments where they've had several freaking years to work with and know Sony over a multitude of games and whatnot. So, those things exist.
I also got another theory about inorganic growth, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think situations like Haven and Deviation Games are inorganic growth, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're brand new studios.
That's a great point. I was thinking the same thing, that they didn't just say inorganic acquisitions. They said inorganic growth through acquisitions and joint ventures and partnering or making a game like with Firewalk and with Haven. That's joint ventures. So that's not
Deviation as well.
Yeah, and just coming off your point, DZ, what you said before about new talent is found everywhere. Look, where the hell did Ready at Dawn come from? I mean, suddenly this studio that very few had really given much attention to created the masterpiece, in my opinion, like certainly a visual masterpiece and a technical masterpiece, that is the Order 1886. So you're absolutely right. You should, we can't underestimate. So Sony have keen eyes, and so do, and there are devs everywhere that have something to contribute, like yourself, for example. So that's a good point.
I appreciate that, by the way.
Nah, I mean, I'm not brown nosing, bro. I mean it. Like, you know, you're a team of 20, and yet you're creating something as ambitious as a isometric open world RPG with deep elements. I mean, it takes a lot to do stuff like that, my bro. And it's a credit to you. And given even more tools, and also working alongside more experienced dev talent, you're gonna flourish, bro, because you're young, you got the brain, you got the mind, you got the ambition. So,
but again, you know, regarding growth, I think it's also interesting. The investments Sony has been making is also actually very interesting, especially with Square Enix and Kadokawa, for example. Because, you know, normally when you when you invest in a company, right, or companies to companies, right, it's kind of like you can also have a say in some of the things that happens in that company when you start investing, right? You got, what do you call that? Seat at the table?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And Kadokawa, as you know, is owned by From Software, and Square Enix is obvious, right? They're investing in these two companies. I don't know if they're going to start investing in others, like Capcom.
From Software is owned by Kadokawa. That's their parent company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
And,
I think it was like early last year that they said something along the lines of it was early last year in February or something like that they said that they were aiming to expand their partnership, so they've taken investment from Sony in terms of doing things with they've taken money to grow their business and whatnot. So I think I remember some weird Xbox fanboy tagged Phil Spencer in it and was just like, Phil, please step in because this is not.
DZ, you just cut off. Could you repeat that bit? He stepped in and said, Phil, could you please...
Oh, no, I was saying this weird Xbox fanboy saw the news that Sony and Kadokawa had formed a strategic investment partnership where they shared certain assets to improve their infrastructure and stuff. And when the fanboy saw that, he tagged Phil Spencer and said, Phil, please step in because this is not okay. And
That is so
I remember that. And then you got and again, I'm still playing around with the idea that Sony's actually also investing in Kojima Productions. Again,
his office is in
Sony
Sony
building. Yeah. So I think it's also kind of an investment if you think about it.
Dude,
right?
He's sharing tea and biscuits with Herman Holtz. You know, there's no doubt about it. And there's just, yeah. I mean, but look at what Sony did with Hideo Kojima. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It makes me well up every freaking time. When he left Konami, they literally handed him with no NDA, nothing, no agreement, no contract, the source code of the Guerrilla engine, and even let him experiment with the Sucker Punch engine. I mean, he'll never forget that. That when Jade Raymond said that Sony understand what, I can't remember how she worded it in that interview, but Sony understand basically what
creative
freedom. Yeah, creative freedom.
That's the one. Creative freedom. And they understand creative freedom and how they can truly kind of fully facilitate a healthy development environment for devs. I mean, look no freaking further than the example that they've done with both Jade Raymond and Hideo Kojima. I mean, Jade's had a tough 10 years, as Alex so non-graciously tried to tell us, but in a really shitty way.
Condescending way.
Yeah, in a really shitty way to try and slight her. But none of those things were her fault or her doing. They cancelled her most ambitious project, and when she was working on that Star Wars game, and she was working on that Star Wars game with Amy Hennig once, wasn't she? I'm pretty sure she was. Yeah.
Yep.
And they cancelled it because single player games aren't popular anymore. I mean, that was a rumor going around, like a narrative going around 4 or 5 years ago. So they cancelled, and then later was like scrap what we said, make a single player Star Wars game. We were wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
So she'd been through the shitter, and none of that is her fault. And finally, she's been given that blank canvas as big as a room, and they've gone, go wild, Jade. We'll support you. We'll help.
Yeah, I want her to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they were like a rebellion. They were like a team of rebels that just like left their studio and had nowhere to go, but they did. Sony saw them and snatched them up, gave them a studio, gave them the tools.
I want her to take some names, bro. Like I want her to wreck shit up and take some names, because with a new game that she's making, needs to prove this naysayer is wrong.
Yeah,
He's
facts. That guy has no class. That guy has no class at all.
Easy. This is like something that I kind of despise within game community, and not all of them, but there's a lot of them where just because there are setbacks, they kind of like forget what these people have done before. It's a really shitty thing, like lose respect because there are setbacks for this certain developer, even though they created so many amazing things in their career. It's something that really leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because respect is earned like already. It's just a setback. I mean, for me, what's respectable is that the fact that she didn't quit.
Facts.
I mean, if she quit, I cannot blame anyone for quitting, right?
Or turn bitter.
She didn't. Yeah, she didn't quit.
Facts.
I mean, with all the setbacks she's had four major things canceled, and it was all due to industry trends or Google overestimating the things and not seeing immediate returns and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
fucking ate their words. Like, look at them, fucking single player after single player after single player now.
So like, those things aren't her fault, and she's moved, and she's been grateful to the fact that she's built up such a career thing that she can go anywhere and start something anew, just like Kojima's built over 30 years worth of a legacy to where he's become this strong person that even with a massive setback like being fired by Konami, he could literally be scooped up and given a fresh start, just basically because Sony said, listen, we know how companies can be. Certain things can be difficult for you. So like, on the faith of goodwill.
Sorry, brother, your mic is butting a little bit. You're sounding a bit.
I was saying, just on goodwill alone, they could give these developers a chance,
Facts.
Yeah, again, as long as they don't give up, right, and they got something to show for it, they shouldn't give up. None of them should.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should make them give up. It's such bullshit that these people are so angry that she didn't give up. Like, dude, can you be happy for her that she fucking is still making games? It's kind of like what counts, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what budget it is. If it's indie, AA, AAA, if she's used to the AAA space, then that's her fucking space. Nobody dictates what her career is going to be. It's her fucking career.
I agree.
And I don't fucking appreciate when somebody tries to dictate somebody's career. Like, dude, why don't you dictate your own career? Like, you don't dictate somebody else's career. It's such a bullshit thing to say, man.
You know what's also really ironic about Alex? Danny on Twitter said it. It's such a good point. He was disrespecting one of Ubisoft's own games with Unity.
Yeah, dude, I love Unity. By the way,
she made Unity.
You know what I said? You know what I said about Unity? I said if Unity was released without those, bugs, I think it would have been the best Assassin's Creed. I'm not even kidding. Like, the gameplay, the parkour, the interiors, the fucking combat, it was amazing in Unity. And people who are downplaying Unity should play Unity right now, because it's a really amazing Assassin's Creed game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna keep on saying that.
I think the world of Unity is unbelievable. For Paris,
it's the best interior.
With that one-to-one scale. Like, everything is so tight, and the streets are so, like, bro, it's crazy.
Unity had the best interior, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, from all Assassin's Creed. By the way, fun fact: Alex was the level designer in Unity.
What was
Yeah,
it?
he also worked on Unity. Yeah, he's a level designer for Unity. He was basically working with J. Raymond. Now he can say this. I couldn't believe my eyes as well when I saw it.
Yeah,
They work together.
that's crazy and so sad. So sad.
Yes.
Um,
I'm excited for whatever whatever Jade Raymond cooks up. I mean, she has a creative mind, so I'm ready. Blow me away, right? So, by the way, when again with Sony, right? I just think people should pay attention more to Shuei Yoshida, because that man works in mysterious ways.
yeah.
Like he's like everywhere. Like, you know, he's been in Korea for a lot. Like, so it seems like he's trying to do something in Korea. That's why he got Project Magnum, right? Then China, and then you got Malaysia, Singapore, India. I mentioned these countries.
Project Magnum looks incredible.
It's a South Korean game, yeah. And
Is
Shift Up again.
Isn't Project Eve also Korean as well?
Project Eve is also South Korean, yeah, from Shift Up. That's correct.
Yeah.
And you know, it's considered multiplayer, but if you're gonna look at their Twitter account, it's only PS5 and PS5 and PS5. But it's a multiplayer, by the way. It's only PS5 on their Twitter account. It's actually really funny to watch. Like, if you're gonna look at the Project Eve Twitter account right now, it was confirmed multiplat in one post, I believe. But now if you're gonna look at their Twitter account, everything that they post, there's always like a hashtag PS5. All their posts. All of it. And they're a multiplat. Again, I've never seen something like that before. It's kind of funny. I don't know what's there, but Sony is obviously trying to make a partnership there, because you remember the 260 PS5s? Yeah, definitely.
Facts. So,
And they want to break Korea like they did with China. They want to. They really want to.
I mean, that'll be interesting for you to report on, Zuby, when that shit happens, because China is like a market of so much crazy potential. We've been talking about it for a few months now.
This was good.
Like, what China offers
Fist,
is
Subi?
crazy.
You played Fist, Subi?
No, I haven't played it yet.
It's great, man. It's great. Even DZ should play Fist.
Not played.
DZ should also play Fist.
I've heard it say.
I bought it, but I could only play one game at a time, and I've been super busy these past few days. But like, I also bought Recompile, and I think everyone should play that game too.
Yeah,
Facts. I'm so glad you
It's
shouted that
number
game
one,
out, because guys, Recompile has been really struggling to the point where it's beyond hope. That's what the devs say. They haven't made great sales, and
It's by Recompile.
and yet Recompile is such a good game. It's sad.
Joey did his best to market that game. He was marketing that game hard. He even made it a banner once.
So you know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna post it on Twitter. I'm gonna, as a thank you for this show as well, I'm going to be sending out a Recompile gift code to a lucky member. So watch out. Feel free to share this show out, and I'll be dropping a code at random. I'll write everybody's names down who share this show out, and I'll mix it all up in a bucket or whatever, and I'll pick out a lucky winner.
Recompile is a Recompile is a indie game, Christopher. It's a good indie game.
Yeah, it's
It's really good.
It's really strikingly pretty as well.
Compost PS5 broke a record in China for the amount of consoles that was sold there. It was sold out, actually. It was sold out. And basically, again, China is not so into consoles. They've been banned for 14 years. So the fact that they were able to break through that market is big. So yeah, sold out in China. And Fist is a banger. Yep. Love Fist. Finished that game.
Yeah. Shout out to Buck Roger talking about MGS5. You know, that left me with the Phantom Pain book, because I probably burnt 200 hours in that game, but was only
MGS5?
was only left sad by it, because as much as I loved the gameplay, there was a hollow missing feeling, like almost like I was missing like a phantom pain. The characters seemed alien from each other and alienated from each other, and I know there's a reason behind that, with you not being the character you think you were the whole time. Sorry, spoilers, 5-year-old game, deal with it. But yeah, no. Shout out.
If you think about it, in the old Metal Gear, Venom Snake was there. He's boss fight there.
Facts. Yeah.
The old Metal Gear, I think MG2, I believe, was that.
Yeah,
where he's a boss fight. So it's kind of
it's pretty cool.
It's kind of connecting there. MGS5 and that. That was crazy.
It's true. And then Solidus, who's pretty much an equivalent. He's another Venom Snake in a way, except he's not a clone. Venom Snake wasn't a clone. He was a medic, which is weird. Did you hear about
that latest? That rumor was not revealed on Twitter yet. There's a rumor in Japan about Abandon recently.
Oh, I've heard.
In Japan. Basically the rumor was saying something like Abandon is supposed to be a joint a partnership, Konami, Sony, with Castlevania, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear. That was kind of like what the rumor says. But it's just a rumor. But again, it was such a new rumor.
That was already something that I had considered. I'm not bullshitting you. I already thought that myself. Like, could this be the case?
Yeah, it's a rumor rumbling right now. I don't know why, but it's rumbling right now.
That rumor is something that I thought of out the blue in my head, like 3 months ago, when all this could this be the situation, and I compared it with Bluepoint, how Bluepoint, who had inside knowledge of the developments and goings on, mentioned Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid, and Silent Hill, all in kind of in weird homage of keywords that kind of.
The reason why I'm not touching abandoned rumors anymore, because I'm just gonna wait it out. There's got to be something there. I mean, this is my only argument. They fucking made an app, man. Like, you don't make an app just for nothing. That's like what I think of it, right? So I'm just gonna weigh it out, whatever it's gonna be. It only caught my interest because of that damn app. Because you don't make an app for nothing. It's kind of like my whole argument about it.
Yeah. Right. So moving on to the next topic, guys. Unless people have something that they want to add.
Metal Gear, right?
The
next topic is Metal Gear. Right?
Well, it could be. Yeah. Well, let's do it. Speaking of, let's do it. Why not?
I wanna say something there about this Irish sound.
At this point.
I only know 2 games. I actually have 2 games that I'm picking, within. However, the game that I'm guessing is also not likely because it's not such a big game. Do you remember a PS3 game called Folklore?
Yep. Yeah, this was rumored because
that was Irish mythology.
Yeah, it was Irish mythology, but this is what I want to bring up. I've got actually a recording, the audio of the interview, which I'm going to play for you guys in a minute. She didn't say an Irish game. She said Irish words in a song. So the song was Irish in Irish native language, right? So what we're gonna do, guys,
that's true.
We're gonna have a look at this. So I'm gonna get a full screen capture up, and here we go. So the rumors are that there's a big PlayStation remake to be announced this Christmas, guys, and it could be Metal Gear Solid. It could be other games too, but I'm really hoping for Metal Gear Solid, obviously. I love Metal Gear Solid, and I swear whenever I hear that intro music, I cry. Shadow Moses song, The Best Is Yet to Come. But that song, believe it or not, is actually in Irish language. It's in Gaelic, Irish Gaelic language. This song is the song I'm talking about. I'm going to turn it up for you guys. So this song, this famous tune that we all know and love, is Gaelic, right?
I didn't know that, to be honest.
Let's just let's spend 30 seconds just appreciating this beautiful song, alright? Before I get to the point. It gets me emotional every time, It makes me fucking cry. I can't help it. All right. I paused it. I'm tearing up. Shit. So yeah, that's the tune, guys. We all know and love. Now listen to this radio. On Thursday, the 7th of October, a young, talented lady by the stage name Éabha. Her real name is Éabha McMahon.
I cannot read her name.
Éabha McMahon, I think her name, or Éabha McMahon. I can't fucking say her name. It is what it is. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Éabha. Please know that I sincerely apologise. But your work is legendary. You're a very talented Irish singer songwriter, and I love your accent. So there we go. And on this radio on Thursday, the 7th of October. Listen to this. She was being interviewed, and listen to what she said.
And I remember one time I was 13 or 14, and I was at my granny's house, and they arrived and they were singing something on the piano, and then my mum was like, Éabha actually knows that one. Will you get up and sing, Éabha? And I sang for them. And Michael came up to my mum and he was like, God, she really, she obviously loves singing. She should come in and audition when she's 15, and I have to be 16 to 18 to kind of sing in the group, whatever. So I went in at 15 and did my audition, and I got in, and I literally sang with them all through kind of college and everything, and just recently wrote a song for a PlayStation game with Michael McGlynn. So even though I'm not actually actively in the group at the moment, like touring with them and stuff, that's what I mean by it's like a family. You're never really out of it. Once you're in a Nuna, you're kind of always in a Nuna.
Yeah.
Which is it's the lovely thing about it.
Just go back there to the PlayStation game. What's that all about? Tell us.
Yeah, so that actually happened about a year and a half. It was just as the pandemic hit. Michael got in touch and just said, listen, we're writing music for a remake of a PlayStation game, and he does that a lot. Like he's done a lot of writing for different games that are very well known, but I'm actually not a gamer myself. But so anyway, he said, look, it's an Irish language piece that they're looking for. So really what I was involved with was the lyric writing in the Irish language, and his daughter sang on the track, and his wife arranged part of the choral parts, and so did Michael, and he also worked with me on the language side of things. So it was real, like almost like a family effort. But for ages I wasn't allowed to really, you don't know what you're writing for. It's all kind of undisclosed because they don't want it to get out. So
Yeah.
It's actually going to be announced at Christmas, the name of the game. I have heard of it now, and I have been told it is a big game, which is great.
Wow.
So it's going to be an Irish language piece in the game, which is brilliant.
And you've had a fantastic career, Éabha.
Guys, holy shit. Did you listen to that? Did you hear that? For those on the panel are probably still listening to the YouTube stream because it's delayed by 30 seconds. So I'm just going to pause for a minute and let you guys finish listening. So, have you guys watched it all? Has it finished? Oh,
Yeah,
awesome!
yeah.
How freaking amazing is that? Like she said, it is going to be revealed at Christmas. She revealed probably a little bit too much, bless her, but she's not familiar probably with like she doesn't play video games, so there you go. But holy shit, guys! An Irish language game, an Irish language song, which we know that song is from Metal Gear Solid. It's a big game. She laughed almost nervously because she realizes, this is a game that's very, very popular and big. It's how she said it, right? And it's going to be revealed as a Christmas present for all us gamers. Isn't that amazing? So, what do you guys think it could be?
Wants to be Metal Gear?
Is it a remake, she said, or just a big game?
Yeah, she says remake. She says remake.
Okay. I don't know.
Neck.
You're allowed to
Nah.
speculate unless you're hiding shit that you already know about, DZ.
No, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. But it's interesting that she said in December because two things happen in December. Typically happen in December. In December, you have the Game Awards and you have PlayStation Experience, and we've seen that Sony's renewed what is it? The PlayStation Experience, the trade show trademark for that, or they filed a thing to renew it. So I don't know. I think people still want Sony to have one more big thing for the year instead of the state of plays. But typically, with how they've done PlayStation experiences over the in the past, they were announced over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation experiences were announced over the summer, and then fans were given the opportunity to come and buy tickets and whatnot. So it's we'll see. I think it may not. I think we may not get one this year, and it may just be revealed for. PlayStation typically has a presence at Jeff's shows. Either they like Open Night Live. They showed off last year. They showed off Ratchet and Clank. They had a 7-minute demo, which they closed with. This year they showed off. This year Open Night Live they showed off Death Stranding, and last year's Game Awards they gave the first release date for Returnal, and they announced seasons for PS5. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about making this announcement. I know Kojima typically likes to be present for these award shows. So if it's Metal Gear related, I'd say you could probably guarantee a reveal happening not at Christmas, but at least in that month. So we'll see. The Game Awards is there. Sony's always at the Game Awards, even if it's a subdued format or even if it's a limited thing. They've always had one game or two a year. I remember in 2019 they announced Godfall. Mm-hmm. At that show. So
it could be Chrono Trigger, or according to Chris,
Chrono
which
Cross.
I did see that, or Chrono Cross.
Chrono Cross.
But maybe Chrono Trigger, but following a similar thing to its sequel, Chrono Cross, where it features
now that I think about it,
an Irish song. So
the Game Awards is actually a perfect platform to announce something like this. I mean, Jeff Keighley being, a good friend of Game Awards. Maybe I said it before. The Game Awards this year, I think it could be exciting because developers had a lot of time to prepare this time, and the pandemic is not really that much of a hindrance anymore. So it might be a better Game Awards announcements and all that this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's, like Chris's good point that there is an Irish music apparently in Chrono Trigger as well. Chrono Cross as well. So
Chrono Cross, Chrono Cross.
But I know that Chrono Trigger
I
know that Chrono Trigger was a more popular game, and maybe it's possible that it might also be a Chrono Trigger, but they've also paying homage to Chrono Cross with Gaelic music. Who knows? But I'm putting my money on Metal Gear Solid. I think it's too big to ignore because, interestingly, now here's a really interesting point, guys. Éabha, the composer and singer-songwriter, mentioned that it was a year and a half ago that she did this. Now, a year and a half ago, what surfaced? Very, very strong Metal Gear Solid remake rumors is in development. So it kind of ties in to the timing, and then things have died down and gone quiet. Who knows? But she was reminiscing. About a similar time period to when the Metal Gear Solid rumors were flying everywhere. So, can you believe it's been like a year and a half? That's crazy. But lockdown's been a year and a half, guys. It's crazy how time has gone by so quick. It's shocking. So yeah, it all kind of fits together. Sorry, did you have something to say, Zuby? I heard you. Or was it Will?
And Wooly is the rumor was that what's its name? Blue Point Games. They were developing Metal Gear Solid Remake alongside Demon Souls. So
wow,
that
this is gonna have some polish. That's amazing, dude. Yeah. Bro. I'm hyped. Either way, don't sleep on Sony for the rest of the year. There's something cooking. I think we can all say that confidently. I'm pretty optimistic. I don't think they're just gonna slow burn into 2022. I think they're gonna do what they did in 2020 and go out with a bang just before the end of the year in prep for the next year. So that's likely to happen. Anybody want to comment on anything before we move on to the juicy topic of cloud gaming? I know DZ has a lot to say. I know that Zuby Tech will probably have a lot to say. And Wilhelm Wilhelm tends to see Charlie Sheen all the time when he looks up at the cloud. So I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about cloud gaming as well.
Again, go for it. Cloud
War.
The
last thing I just wanted to add.
Go for it,
Will. The last thing I just wanted to add is the suspense of it all, the rumors, the anticipation, that ain't healthy for me, because somehow all of that stuff, I somehow then come with fabrications, with things that I myself don't believe in, but then somehow in the fabrications of my mind I start to believe in my own lies, so I start to develop unrealistic expectations. For example, at E3, I thought to myself, Gearbox better now announce that they give the Duke Nukem IP back to 3D Realms, and then 3D Realms make an entrance announcing a new Duke Nukem game. But then I got so caught up into it, I thought to myself, it now has to happen. And then I turned on the show, it was just Randy Pitchford annoying other people on the Borderlands movie set.
So what's the moral of the story to this, Will?
I don't know. Don't expect too much.
That's a great moral to the story, my brother. Thank you. Fuck's sake, that's hilarious. Great moral of the story. Temper your expectations, guys. But Metal Gear Solid. Right, okay. Moving on. So let's go to the next generation of Star Wars, the Cloud Wars. Let's do it. So is Cloud Wars a thing now? Why am I saying this? Well, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, as I don't know, that's something Salty always says. Sony overhauled their streaming service, Remote Play. Now, I'm not talking about PS Now. That's different, right? Remote Play is actually completely dependent on you owning a console, but what it allows for is 1080p streaming, and it's it's probably the most competent streaming available right now in terms of game streaming, and the most stable. Maybe Google Stadia kind of has a slight is probably on par, I'm not sure, but for 1080p streaming, it's impressive, and it requires you to own a PS5. Xbox have just this week, it's been confirmed, overhauled their xCloud with they're now running them off Xbox Series X server blades. No longer are they using a shitty Xbox One 720p machine, which means you're going to get higher graphics fidelity. I'm guessing 1080p. might be still 900p. I'm not sure. But either way, with an Xbox Series X, you're going to be getting the next gen version of games on cloud, running at either 900p or 1080p. I can't confirm. I'm not sure about that. So I just wanted to ask the panel, and feel free, you guys in the chat, to go for it. Are PlayStation and Xbox aiming for the exact same thing with the same strategy, or do you think there's a difference? Who wants to go first?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Cloud gaming is a taboo issue in the gaming industry right now because ownership is definitely the thing that people want, and there's convenience to having your things on a server. You don't have to. There's no lengthy game installs. There are pluses and but then there's also just the nature of things being that you don't really own it. Servers can go offline. Servers go offline, you lose access to the game. You may be wanting to play, and they might take the server offline to do they may take the server offline to do maintenance for however many hours that you may want to be playing. And then there comes the thing of delisting games from an online format, from an online store, or delisting it from a server, because server space is internet space is not necessarily a finite thing. It's not infinite, so to speak. Because people can scrub servers, they're not immune to hacks. So there's a whole lot of trepidation with that I want to approach anything to do with cloud gaming, because there's just too many unknowns. And so I think that's going to be a form of revenue for them to, for both companies or whoever else wants to get into this thing over the next few years and whatnot. That's a market that they're going to want to capitalize and make sure that they're strong in. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, most people will say that Microsoft is making these moves because Stadia is here, and then there's also Amazon with its Luna platform, and then of course Nintendo has just launched its cloud-based one where they have small release, well, not necessarily small, but they've negotiated with whoever it is that their cloud platform partner is to put these games through Playable on the Switch that are the cloud versions. Honestly, I think somebody's just each of them are trying to get the most market share first of customers, and because through the
same way, or do you think they're approaching? They're trying to appeal to customers in a different way?
I don't know how you could really differentiate your cloud-based platform, because really the nature of the thing is it's internet based. It's dependent on bandwidth, right?
I'm not kind of referring to the process. I'm more referring to the delivery. Like, for example, why I'm saying this is xCloud doesn't require an Xbox. And PlayStation now is kind of its own thing. It's kind of not really a focus. It's not really in the mentions. Yeah. It's like somebody's ugly little brother. You kind of keep him at the back of the room and don't let him be a cock block, which is it's its own thing. But whereas with that was a joke, by the way. with PS Remote Play, it incentivizes, in my opinion, console purchases because it's dependent on the console. It's convenient for any cloud enthusiasts, the few that there are. Shout out to the Xbox community, because they seem to lap that shit up. That 720p gaming at 15 frames a second, they seem to love that. But whereas, you know, here PlayStation is allowing you to stream from your phone directly connected to your PS5 or PS4 on the go using mobile data, and it's a pretty surprisingly stable connection. That's why they're allowing 1080p and not just 900p. But what that does is, to me, it's like consolidating the experience without compromising sales by. It's not an alternative. It's not like instead of buying an Xbox Series X, play xCloud. It's not like instead of buying a PS5, use remote play. You actually, PS5 is capable of remote play if you buy one, just to make that console more versatile. So purely my perspective, but I'd love to hear you guys, yours DZ, yours Zuby, and Will and Akira. For me, it seems more like it's not being prioritized as the be all and end all that Microsoft are kind of prioritizing xCloud with. It's rather just merely yet another complement and reason to own a PS5. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to me it does make sense. Firstly, Compost Mirth, who you mean with nonsense? Do you mean me or Randy Pitchford? If you mean me, then I'll deploy you. I'll bury you with violent hatred. But to the cloud thing is, it's hard to right now. Hard for me to kind of call it a competition of some sorts, because
Cloud Wars, bro. Say the name Cloud Wars. It sounds
Cloud
awesome.
Wars,
There we go.
Cloud Wars.
There you go.
It's me hard to call it Cloud Wars right now, because you know, the people like Sony and all, they tackle it differently. Because with Sony, I feel like it's not like a thing they want to prioritize, or I think a thing they want to build upon. It seems like more for me, it's like a thing they do on the side, you know. Like you said, Wooly, it's like something that should encourage people to actually buy the games and buy the system.
Mm-hmm.
While with people like, you know, while with companies like Microsoft, it seems like they do want to prioritize, not really prioritize it, but they do put somewhat of a focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really see much of a competition there to begin with, because I don't really see a future in that cloud thing, you know. Amazon Luna and Google Stadia are dead man walking.
I mean, the ideal scenario is what Phil Spencer envisioned way prematurely. It would still be premature even today. That the cloud actually aids hardware through rendering intensive moments using internet bandwidth to save hardware memory and shit like that, which is what they were trying to do with Crackdown 3 but failed because, like I said, it was way too premature. So I do see a future where cloud gaming is a possibility, and I certainly see it inevitably happening like 20-30 years down the line when internet is microwaving us slowly but surely, and we're all dying of cancer because internet waves are cooking everybody, and we might have a 5-10 year period where we're really lapping up this cloud-based gaming, because the shit that would be possible might in the future even overwrite kind of hardware capabilities when internet becomes ridiculously fast. But I'm just getting my tinfoil hat on there, and I'm just speculating. But go on, mate. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say it like this: as long as traditional gaming exists, I don't give a fuck about cloud gaming. I'm never joining cloud gaming until I have no fucking choice. I don't know why it's such an attractive concept for people to be forced into this shit, like to not have the freedom to game when you want to game anymore. Like if servers are down, if shit is down, they can lock you up out of it whenever they want. They got full control. You got no control anymore. You own basically nothing.
Honestly, dude,
and
I'd much rather have a Game Boy Advanced than a freaking mobile phone trying to play Ghost of Tsushima on the bus. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And again, I would never join this shit. It's a concept that doesn't attract me at all, not one
Me
fucking
neither.
bit. I want a game when I want. I want to be able to play this game whenever the fuck I want. Servers down,
Wow.
PSN is down, I can still play this fucking game. That's what I want. And as they can go with the cloud, whatever they want, as long as they keep traditional gaming, then I'm happy. But if they really try to start to force people into this, that's when it becomes a problem. Yeah. So that's my opinion about it. I don't fucking like it. I fucking hate it.
So
I hope it never happens, that it becomes the standard, and I hope traditional gaming stays.
well, this is why
That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm more, even though it's the lesser of two evils, I'm more optimistic about PlayStation's use of cloud gaming, and the hiring. Like, what was it, Zuby? Did you say 40 people? Like,
Yeah, so yeah. First of all, like I agree with all of you guys what you're saying. I hope it stays true as well that I don't want physical media or physical hardware to go away forever. But like a person who works in this industry, you see what it does to businesses and what it's doing to the world as well. Like the technology is just so far advanced. Maybe not for gaming right now, but in terms of like Sony, what they're doing, they're hiring at least 40 roles in US and UK. I've seen some in Japan. So they've got like 3 technical hubs: London, where Gaikai is based, in California, and Tokyo. So that's where like this investment is going on. And I've seen patents, I've seen job listings, and Sony is really going in this area, like cloud gaming. They're basically hiring for lead engineers, software developers, back end, front end, is like software engineers, all in the cloud. In cloud, there's something called the 5 nines as well. It's called availability, so the cloud doesn't go down. In terms of like networking, the thing that you learn the quickest in networking is that you always have redundancy. So if you have like one single point of failure, you don't want that in your network. So I've seen a lot of
yeah, I know. Again, I cannot stop whatever they want to do, but I'm not joining the fucking cloud as long as old school gaming exists.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
what do you think that
Will be the
purpose is?
Like again, I don't find this concept attractive at all. Like being fucking, you're at the mercy of these companies
100%.
on your gaming. No, fuck no.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of it.
I made a thread on Twitter as well saying how it's not going to take off anytime soon. Like cloud gaming, for me, 6G has to be here. But one of the patents Sony filed was so interesting. Like if you know the Gaikai servers right now, it has in one server blade has 8 PS3s. So I saw one patent where like it was specifically around like data. So to reduce latency and where data needs to go in a data center, Sony's like packed in multiple NVMe's and they're running a lot faster than what PS5 can do right now. So that pattern, what it does, it combines really fast storage. So data can go where it needs to go really quickly. Sony is also hiring for someone to basically do this role in the cloud. There's really no right answer to this as well. Like it's such a big topic, and it's such a technical department. Like the roles Sony are hiring for, they're not like entry level roles. They're really senior level roles. From what I can see from these job listings, the patents, Sony is really going in. from the patents, I mean the hiring roles as well. They're basically, as far as I can see, they're partnering with AWS or Amazon. They also could do their own cloud infrastructure. One listing said that. So it's you really don't know what Sony's gonna do until you see it. At the end of the day, this whatever PlayStation now becomes, I think within probably the next 2 years, you'll probably see what Jim Ryan is gonna do with this. That is just a really big topic to be honest. There's so many roles Sony is hiring for.
Mate, you just dropped a news bomb on us. That's crazy. Like to imagine
and
that's
Wooly
what
is, and this is serious investment. This is not any light investment Sony's doing. They're really going into cloud gaming, and people don't realize how big Sony are going into it. They're not going to be left behind by Amazon or Microsoft or anyone. They will be at the forefront of this if it takes off.
I have no doubt, dude. I just hope that the way they implement it is not at the expense of console gaming. I hope that they implement it into consoles, making consoles.
To be honest, Willie, I don't think the console's going anywhere anytime soon. I think this is just going to be like a add-on additional thing where you can take your games anywhere you go, your PlayStation games. Because if you see like Jim Ryan's interview as well, he said about the hundreds of millions. This is the way to do it. Like personally, I want to play the next God of War on my OLED. I don't want to play it on my phone, but that's me. There might be another gamer. You don't know where a game is gonna go in the next 10 to 15 years, but I agree with all you guys. Like I want that physical hardware still there. I don't want that latency there.
Hey, bro, listen,
that's just me. But
one thing we don't do is shoot the messenger, and you're providing the information, and we're not saying we're not saying you're advocating it, but that's crazy big news, dude. To like they're getting blades that are kind of like a combined amount to produce the output greater than a PS5 can do.
Yeah, it is, and that leads to two things. So latency first of all, and then the gaming side. So it's like killing two birds with one stone.
They're clever, aren't they? They are clever, Sony. Like because they can use their hardware in genius ways.
Exactly, they've got clever engineers. They know what they're doing. They've been in this industry for such a long time, and whatever they do next is like I said, it will be very, very specialized to gaming. It won't be specialized to software as a service. Like you put an application in the cloud and you access it through the cloud. Like the pipeline, what it will be to your phone, it will be really, really big. But like I said, it's such a big topic that there's not one way to describe it. And the line that it says is Sony is hiring for a next gen cloud network. So next gen is like a PS5. So that's how big it is. So this is like a additional platform for Sony.
I mean, I say it's exciting. It's exciting from a technical aspect, looking at just how impressive it's going to be, what they do. I just hope the execution is done right, and with that Sony signature kind of finesse and pro consumer kind of not even pro consumer, but pro console mindset. But I had no idea the level that they're going to basically make competing platforms look archaic by comparison. That shit's crazy.
Like no disrespect to Google Stadia or xCloud, like they're phenomenal as well, but like I said, Sony's got much more experience in game development. They know what they need, exactly where it's going to be required. And like I said, these are not entry level roles. These are really advanced roles in networking. like I said, it's such a big. Even networking itself is not like you have the server side, you can have the front end side, you can have like specialists in certain applications. You can do people who do databases, SQL stuff on the back end. Then you have the UI department as well. It's networking in itself is so big.
The chat,
as well.
The chat right tonight is fire, guys. You are lit. This is hilarious. The shit that I'm reading. Oh my god, mate! I got to read some of these comments. Buy something, Phil. I'm getting emotional hearing this. Buy Cole Covision, Phil. Xbox.
I need to make a meme out of that. I need to make a meme out of that.
Xbox fanboys are living in the clouds.
Yeah, and Willie, I'm not sure why like that person said attacked me on like Twitter saying Sony have a deal with Azure. Like, no, Sony can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to do anything with Microsoft.
Exactly. So this is a good point. You mentioned that they're investing in AWS. Could you just like inform like noobs like me what exactly is that?
So the most easiest way to say it is like it's a cloud service. So they have loads of data centers. They have their own platform. They have their like own client systems.
Nice.
A lot of like networking is more easier to use. AWS is much more user friendly. The customer service is really good as well. But they're really advanced in networking. As you know, they run like majority of the internet. They power Netflix, which is huge. So they know what they're doing in terms of that as well. So Sony could choose to partner with AWS. That they have obviously their own cloud network.
They looked at
infrastructure.
Azure. They looked at Azure, a far less stable infrastructure, and thought, no, thank you.
Like I said, per that interview, I'm not saying Sony won't sign with Microsoft. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they can say no. They can say we only want this from you, and choose something else from AWS. I've seen networking companies do that as well. So it's not just I'm saying Sony's chosen AWS, but according to these listings here, that's who Sony's partnering with their next gen cloud network. But
so what's your thoughts, guys? DZ.
My thoughts is I'm not joining the cloud. Don't fucking care what that is, but I'm just not joining the cloud. I mean, they need to fucking kill traditional gaming if they want me to join, but I'm not joining it as long as old school gaming exists.
No, I'm pretty sure
I don't find any of it.
Wilhelm is right there with you, bro.
Right
I don't find any of this shit attractive at all. Like,
yeah.
I really feel nothing of it attractive. I don't know what's so attractive about it.
But
me, the cloud means
I'm not capping it. I'm not capping for it. I'm just playing a bit of devil's advocate, right?
No.
Imagine for a second, Kira. It was really easy to stream and stable, and like way into the future. And you were on the bus. Would you want to play a console game on your touchscreen on your phone?
No.
Nope.
No.
Me neither, dude.
I'd rather, like, they need to fucking make something like a Steam Deck for PlayStation. They want me to do that. Like,
I'd need a PlayStation Vita, like 2.0, next gen Vita.
Vita 2.
Yeah, with Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi 7.
But, right now I really don't see what's so attractive about it. I'm really out of the loop when it comes to the cloud. I'm just exposed to the bad sides of it. Like I said, I don't wanna come to for example, again, PSN and PSN is down and the cloud goes down with it, and I cannot play games because of it, because that's where you only get your games from. I don't want to experience such a scenario, because I want to choose when I want to play. And if there are instances where things go down and you cannot play it, I don't fucking want it. I don't want it. I'm just saying. I don't want these limitations. I don't want these limitations on my gaming, on my gaming time. I don't want to.
I don't think there will be ever a future without physical hardware. That's me personally, but.
I don't. Look,
we're riding
as
waves.
an option, sure, I welcome it because as an option, I welcome it because it has nothing to do with me. But when the time comes where they force it, I don't really like that future. Just saying it right now.
But nobody's saying that future is going to happen. And I know people say it's inevitable, but I'm kind of leaning with Zuby on this. I think they're going to implement it essential with hardware, and it will always be the case. Like I think hardware will always be essential to Sony, and they'll always, at least for the next 20, 30 years. I see a PS Vita 2 being, the equivalent of a PS4 Pro's power, or if not more, within the next couple of years, thanks to the RDNA 2 technology, or even more advanced coming out, RDNA 3. They're able to create super small not microchips, but chiplets that are able to withstand high temperatures, and so it's going to make the Steam Deck look pretty archaic by comparison in just 2 or 3 years' time. The Steam Deck, I swear, came out at the wrong time. It's coming out at the wrong time. They should have held off and waited a couple of years. But what I do know is that when this shit comes out in 2 to 3 years, like, the potential of a Vita re-release with modern technology, and if this cloud option comes out as an option, not an alternative, not a replacement, it would go pretty well on a handheld device. And maybe as part of the PS Plus subscription, they offer that internet availability directly to go with your for your device,
Yeah,
it's possible, and I'd welcome that as an option, but like you said, Akira, not as a replacement or an alternative, even, because that's what I think is Microsoft's biggest issue, is that they keep cannibalizing themselves with alternatives, not options, not additions. xCloud negates an Xbox Series S. It negates the need for one, so to speak, if it was a bit more stable, especially. Whereas with PS Remote Play, you actually essentially need the console for that. So, but yeah, like Will said, I'm beating a dead horse with a stick. But it's pretty awesome thing to think about in terms of, I say awesome, it's like, it's scary, but pretty impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, is that everybody's thoughts on the matter in terms of cloud?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. I don't particularly see the need for it to be anything more than an option.
Facts.
100%.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we're all in agreement there. What do you think, chat? Would you say you agree? Or do you think we should just, like, I don't know, bomb the server blades, the unknown? I love it. But yeah, no, crazy times. But so cloud war, could we say that we're in a cloud war now? I think so. No.
No, I just don't see how. I mean, maybe with time, when I don't know.
I don't mean us.
Getting
I mean,
a little bigger,
war?
then
Right
maybe,
now, no.
Maybe.
I think right now it's only an acquisition war.
Right.
Yes.
No, sorry, not acquisition. No. Content. It's a
Yeah.
content war. But
Yeah.
no cloud war yet. I only see a content war right now.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's more war for content than there is for.
You know, this I'm just gonna tell you guys something, by the way. With all the news been revolving around Sony, I have been getting PlayStation ever since this shit started, right? And I have never seen Sony this aggressive before. I have never witnessed them being so aggressive
Same here.
business-wise. I've never seen this before.
And Akira,
That's why.
not
Go
just
ahead.
one place. They're aggressive everywhere. That's the thing.
Yeah.
PlayStation is firing on all cylinders. Like they're investing in everything. The game
Yeah.
development, game studios, content, PlayStation 5, PlayStation VR, cloud.
Yeah.
Is just.
I think.
too big.
Sorry. I mean, I think partially all the content war that's going on. I think it's kind of pushing Sony's hand as well.
Yep.
But yeah, I've never seen them this aggressive before, and I think they have good reason to be aggressive because they're the market leader and they should capitalize on that.
Yeah. It's crazy to me because I feel like no matter what Microsoft throw against Sony, this huge conglomerate of a company throw against, this relatively, by comparison, dweeby company by comparison, in terms of overall revenue, not revenue but capital, they just can't ever win. It seems like Sony just keep the head down and undermine them at every turn with something more bespoke, but also more competent and robust. Because there's nothing that's competent and robust about xCloud. Let's face it. And this isn't me bragging about Sony's cloud. Like, oh, it's awesome. I'm into this future. I want this. I don't want a future where cloud gaming takes over hardware and negates it, and I don't want that at all. I want to own my games. I want to own my systems, and I want to play on a system at home. It's how I like to game. But nevertheless, like, if they could bring about a really robust service for portable like the next Vita, that would I wouldn't say no. Playing PS5 games at a smooth 60 FPS, 1080p, on a proper handheld device made by PlayStation, kind of, I don't know, turns me on a little bit. So yeah, but it's like you said, Zuby. It's a deep subject and a difficult one because we're all so many are passionately against cloud, and I'm not for it.
This is what I'm gonna say about this. There's only two ways for me to be, let's say, agree to coexist with a cloud. As long as either the cloud remains an option or hardware remains an option. The cloud can be the main shit that they want to do. As long as the hardware remains an option, I got nothing against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
It's either that or
both.
Good.
I don't see Sony getting out of the console business anytime soon. I think we will definitely see a PlayStation 6, 100%.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I believe that, Zuby, bro.
They did trademark the PlayStation 6, 7, 8. So.
Shout out to the unknown in the chat with the best comment of the night. Sony does have a cool cloud, in-cloud strife. Absolute facts, my dude. Cloud
Dude, I need to meme that shit. The Phil needs to buy something because I'm getting emotional.
Yeah,
that's I need that shit. I need that meme, bro.
That was the best. That was the best comment of the evening. Sorry, it was the unknown. Your comment was second. I'm afraid that comment killed me. Absolutely killed me. Phil, buy something. I'm getting emotional about this. It's just savage but true. If you guys wanted to know, I'm actually playing a heavily modded Witcher 3 here on PC with modded grass, high resolution textures, high res enemies, different lighting, realistic lighting. It's pretty damn awesome. It's whoa. I'm loving this gaming PC, man. It's crazy. PC Master Race, FTW. So I think that's it, guys. Is there anything else that we were going to talk about?
What about the topic?
Oh shit! Sorry, Wilhelm. I keep doing this. Don't
second time.
I know. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Forgive me. What was this topic, bro? Remind me.
Well, as some of you may know, the Crysis remastered trilogy comes out on October 15th.
I had no idea.
And ever since that, I took some time to think about Crytek, the developers behind Crysis, and one of the things that I say is, we have wizards in the field of tech in the industry, and we have pioneers at the scope of tech in the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
The field of tech, and that has been true ever since the first Far Cry. Before Ubisoft took over, they developed the first Far Cry game,
that was
and
industry leading game.
Yeah. Like, I'm still blown away by how far ahead of its time that game is. Like, it's powered by the CryEngine, which is the Charlie Sheen of game engines. It's like the effects, the physics, the animations. It's like and that scope of it all. It's like incredible. Like even turning that game on today is still really impressive. Especially
when I was 12, I couldn't stop watching videos of it.
Yeah, it's very impressive, especially if you consider the year it came out. And then 3 years later, Crysis came out, and Crysis is both famous and infamous for its tech, for just the way it is. Like, that game, it's like, seriously, like, that was Crytek at their most manic. They let all the madness out, and it absolutely shows. Like, Crysis is known for being hard to run. Even today's graphics cards still sweat trying to run this game, and people are still using Crysis as a benchmark to see how powerful their new graphics card is, or to see how powerful the new rig is they got. Like, it's that impressive on that technical scale. Like, where any other developer, while making such a game, like, I'm sure literally every developer has like a vision like Crysis, on a ridiculous, being on a ridiculous technical scale, but then much later in development they cut short, because they realize, not every single PC owner could like run this game. Not everyone has the hardware, and they also gotta cater to the console people, so they need to downgrade. Crytek was like, fuck it, we absolutely like tickle everything out that we can out of the hardware, and it absolutely shows. Like, it was one of those games that completely, like, I think, like, even almost like one of the first instances where someone took the hardware and utilized it to its absolute fullest, and even beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to think that this game came out like near like a decade ago is like, it's mind-blowing.
It is amazing.
Like even today's games still struggle to climb certain mountains Crysis already climbed on.
Yeah.
Which is
people
why,
like to hate Crytek nowadays, don't they? They like to say that they've kind of lost their touch, and maybe they've certainly lost their output. But let's not forget that they were able to implement software-based ray tracing on PS4 and Xbox One. Crysis Remastered. And I mean that in itself, and how they do that is using a voxel-based rendering technique, which I never would have understood how on earth. Well, first of all, I don't understand anyway. I'm not a software engineer, but how on earth they used voxel based lighting in order to implement a low kind of a low asset ray trace version of ray tracing. Like if used and expanded upon, that could completely revolutionize lighting in games, because what that would allow is for games to have ray tracing, but at not even half the cost, which is
okay.
pretty clever.
I haven't thought about that. Yeah, that's certainly impressive. But like, what I wanted to say furthermore is actually that I don't want to say disappointed. That disappointed isn't exactly the right word, but I can't help but to feel like a slight disappointment when looking at Crytek now, because basically when the Crysis remaster came, I don't know if I'll just held my expectations too high, but I was certainly expecting more than what we got, because the Crysis remaster is based on the PS3 and Xbox 360 port of Crysis 1, and not to knock those versions at all, it's like a miracle that they even got the game running on that system. But that port, of course, in order that for these consoles to run Crysis, a lot of tweaking had been done. Things had been cut short, a lot of downgrades. And with that, for example, they've cut out, that last level of Crysis where you're on that spaceship, because, those consoles, they would have coughed blood out of their fan holes if they tried to run that sequence. But to base the remaster on that is, it's kind of weak, even considering, that's Crytek. You expect something that a little bit more over the top, a little bit more groundbreaking, because now with that we have a version that's running on Windows 10. That's a good thing, because we needed a version of Crysis that runs on Windows 10, even though the GOG version actually does run the original Crysis on Windows 10, so there's that. But at the end of the day, we now have like a product that's as far as tech goes, as far as like the technical side of thing goes, is even behind the original one. The remaster is on a technical scope behind the original Crysis, which just, I can't help but to feel a slight disappointment, because I know Crytek can do better, like they absolutely can, and they've shown that. So to see them taking like that step back it's just, it doesn't sit right.
They've done a CD Projekt Red and bamboozled us all based on their past legacy,
Yeah. It seems like they won't do that mistake again, because the Crysis 2 and the Crysis 3 remaster are both based on the PC version. But I don't know, I feel like they just don't show their full potential these days.
I agree.
They kind of stopped that even after the first Crysis, because then Crysis 2 came out, and Crysis 2 was obviously more of a console title. It was stripped down a lot, it was linear. It wasn't graphically a leap we would have actually expected with Crytek. And so there's that. I mean,
they did lower the end. They did make sacrifices to make it more accessible to mass audiences, because they wanted that money. They wanted them.
Yeah.
Crysis was one of them that sold very poorly compared to all the praise, when compared against all the praise it received, because nothing could freaking run it. I remember the 9800 GTX was the most powerful card on the market when that game came out. Bloody hell, how I remember that, I don't know. But it was called a 9800 GTX. That's like the power of my 970 right now. What I had before I upgraded. And that was the most powerful card on the market when Crysis came out. And you were looking at 20 odd FPS, and people were like, holy shit, this is incredible. PC gamers had lower expectations back then, and they didn't care about 60 FPS and 120 FPS. They just wanted the game to look amazing that you couldn't get on console, and sure enough, Crysis delivered. It was unbelievable. It was a phenomenon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it still is very, very much ahead of its time, and still today's game still haven't reached some of the mountains, like I've said, Crysis already climbed. And after Crysis, though, Crytek didn't add such leaps again. You know, they weren't those madmen in that field. They just kind of like blended in with everybody else. I mean, Crysis 3 then was again another game that, you know, was quite an endurance test for a PC, but still it didn't, you know, wasn't quite on the scale as the first Crysis game. So all I just want to say is Crytek can do a hell of a lot better and a hell of a lot more impressive. It's just these guys are somehow so much more hesitant to show it nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the sacrifice when you're looking at reaching a massive audience, isn't it? When you're trying to get a game more accessible and faster selling, you play it safer, which is just sad. It's why we see a lack of oomph in the AAA gaming industry, apart from really Sony. And but yeah, no, I hear you, brother. Guys, what an incredible show it's been. Is that everything, Will? Does anybody else have anything to add to that, or?
No, I think I'm good.
Sweet. Awesome stuff. I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight's show, and I know I have. I think it's been absolute fire. Conversations flowed really well. It's been an absolute honor to have Zuby Tech join us today. Your first ever podcast, bro, and I hope one of many more to come. I'm honored that you've come and showed up and joined us today and overcome them nerves. You delivered, bro. Let me tell you, you were fired tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure everybody in the chat feels the same. It's been great to hear you speak, share them news bombs that you did. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Willie. I appreciate it, and thanks for the invite as well.
No, I'm glad that you could meet the panel.
Yeah,
it's been awesome.
It was great talking to Akira, DZ, and Wilhelm.
Awesome stuff. Where can we find you?
It's been a pleasure talking with you as well, Zuby. I've seen you on Twitter quite a lot, and I like your little infographics that you put when you list and recap the news, the important news, and highlight some of the things going on behind the scenes. You do your own research, and it's very well put together, and it's very professional too. So, well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Pretty much couldn't have said it any better. Yeah, absolute facts, DZ, bro. Yeah, it's a credit to you, Zuby, and so thank you for all that you do for the gaming community. Where can we find you, my guy?
Just one place, Twitter, awesome. Zuby_tech.
Brilliant. Yeah, I've got him listed in the description below, guys. So feel free to I'm pretty sure you all follow him anyway, so there's not really much point in saying follow him, but if you don't, give him a follow. Sir DZ, thank you so much, brother, for showing up, and really grateful that you were here tonight. And I'm super excited for your future, for what's ahead. I'd be so freaking proud, bro.
Thank you, man.
Honestly, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for you. Couldn't be more proud and happy for you, dude. So, thank you for showing up. Where can we find you, my dude?
You can find me on Twitter at exp Sev Davis. Yeah, I'm there, and you could also, like I said, I won't stop plugging these guys, but keep a lookout for Fireslug Studios and Ashbourne. Teams working on some major stuff. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, give Fireslug Studios a follow. Is it Fireslug Studios, all one word, on Twitter?
Yep.
Awesome. Fireslug Studios. I'll put that in the chat. Wilhelm, as always, dude, absolute hilarious and just bizarre and weird, but great to have you, as always, on the panel with us. Thank you so much. It's always entertaining and also great to hear you speak about things that you're passionate about. You bring a lot to the table, and I'm grateful. Where can we find you,
Thank you. At home.
Love it.
I mean, it's yeah. What can I say, man? It's yeah.
At home. Your Twitter blocked you because you're awesome, and you wouldn't stop harassing Charlie Sheen. So there you go. I told you, bro. Stop sending him DPs, right? Stop sending Charlie Sheen DPs, and you didn't listen, and you kept doing it. So that's what you get. But no, on a serious note, it's awesome, dude. And yeah, you can find Wilhelmovski at home. If you know where he lives, go find him. All right, guys. Akira, my brother, where can we find you?
Yo, so yeah, Twitter, Akira 092421. I got a Yagami profile picture. So find me Yagami banner, pure Lost Judgment Éabha right now,
bro.
And yeah,
you've been awesome tonight. Honestly, I just wanted to say, I really loved your rant and about Cloud, and also loved everything that you explained about Sony's money that they've got in the bank and their potential strategy. It's been really insightful, and yeah,
exactly. We just need to wait a little bit because Sony's definitely planning something big. We just really don't know it yet, but they're definitely working on something. And
yeah, facts.
And yeah, I'm gonna say it again to people. Get Lost Judgment. Please make this game successful. I want a third one. Like, I'm just really, I'm really taking my time with Lost Judgment because I'm just really not sure if this is like the last game from the Judgment franchise, which is why I'm kind of like really taking my time with it, savoring it so much. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in beat 'em ups, detective, great stories, great characters, funny, great side stories, please do get Lost Judgment. It's a really good game. You don't even need to play the first game. You can go straight to this one if you want. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for everyone, and thank you for Stubby and DZ, Wilhelm, and Wooly. See you guys next time.
See you next time, bro. All right, guys. It's been an honor. Peace out. We love you, and thank you for watching episode 12 of Company of Gamers podcast.
fight, we face our enemy head on. And when we take their life, we look them in the eye with courage and respect. This is what makes us samurai.